guys. It's 22nd of April. Art Expo New York is past. We're moving on to the things of the summer and the fall. And one of the things that we wanted to do today was I invited Jessica, who is our social media manager, to join us because I thought that, as we think about the rest of the year, but especially as we're moving into summer and fall, I think that one of the things that becomes an important part of strategy is absolutely social media. And Jessica's got some tips and hints and that sort of thing that she wants to share. And then after that, we'll take a look at some results from Art Expo New York, as well as other things that are coming up and what your plans are. So, Jessica, I think you can take it away.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. Some of you guys are familiar faces. For those who it's my first time seeing you, I'm Jessica, the social media manager here at Redwood. So, yeah, let's dive into some tips. I've created a short deck and we can send it over to you all also after in case it's helpful. But just wanted to go over a few tips that I've seen work really well, especially for artists. And then, okay, perfect. I can share my screen to bring it up. And then, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, first thing that I want to dive into is more about the process that you all come across when you're creating your different artworks. People are really attracted to that. They love to see the behind the scenes, they love to see even the mess ups where you started and where you finish. And that journey is still a part of your story. What you'll kind of find from all of my tips is that storytelling is really the most important here. So if you have different opportunities to show that process, whether that is a video of start to finish, or maybe a video really focused on one aspect of how you create a specific piece, that really builds that emotional connection. And as you all know, a lot of times people are buying because they feel an emotional connection to your work, and you just want to continue to use social media as a tool to kind of build that emotional connection. I do have a couple examples in here, and when we share the deck out, you can be able to play the reel just to see exactly like how these different artists were able to kind of capture that the process. And then, secondly, your story is a part of the work, and what I mean by that is your story as an artist, your story of why you started creating art, why you're creating this specific piece, what it does for you, and how you're connected to it. That still builds on that emotion. And right now, a lot of times what's missing on social media is that authenticity part. And that authenticity is what's going to kind of set you apart from others. Rennie and Mary Lynn, I love a lot of the posts that you guys share, especially, yes, especially when you guys are having fun and just showing your personality. That's what is attractive to an audience, not just a one time collector, but to build that relationship and make sure that they come back and continue to purchase from you. You really want them to fall in love with you as well as the art. And then thirdly, consistency beats virality. I say that all the time. It really doesn't matter if your post goes viral or not. It really matters on how you consistently show up. I always tell people if social media is not your thing, you can always have at least one day a week whether that is a Wednesday, whether that is a Thursday. You can actually use the social media analytics to see what days and times work best for you. And if you show up every day or every week at that same time, then the algorithm gets to know you, your audience gets to know you, and they can expect something from you. And what that really does is just not only builds your relationship with your current audience, but allows the algorithm to kind of push you out to a new audience as well. Fourth, using text and captions intentionally. Sometimes when I see different artists post on social, I see that they're doing amazing work. They may just post the work and go, but your caption is a place where you can capture the attention of people. You can tell a little bit more of the story. You can really just play on them in different types of ways. Some people are visual, some people want to read, some people want to hear it. And that's why these different mechanisms of using text, using captions, reels versus posts, it kind of plays on all those different senses for depending on how your audience likes to absorb information. And the more that you use text and captions to kind of increase that engagement, so whether that is like comment if you're interested to see how the post or the piece when it's finished, or using text and captions for a CTA, so you can say DM me if you're interested in other works. You can really do that and continue to drive engagement, which only better feeds the algorithm people to send your way. And then lastly, I want to hone in on this because I think this is, most people's main goal is you got to make it easy for people to buy on social. You don't want someone to come to your page, fall in love with your work, and they don't have a way to reach out to you. They don't have a way to purchase the artwork and things of that nature. If you see in a lot of the Redwood post and art expo, all of those things, I always include a CTA, or I link the post to the story so that you can directly click on the link from there. That allows people to not have to go to search. You really have to spoon feed people whatever they're looking for. This is a great example. One of our artists who just was in our expo New York with us, kind of using all of these different mechanisms together really well, highlighting the fact that this is her first time. So she's celebrating that, gives all the information needed. And what I really love to see is that she said comment NYC for details and tickets so that she can directly send them her complimentary ticket. And now her collectors have a way to get in touch, or even people who share her posts, they still have a way to go to the show, support her artwork, and things like that. You don't want to lose sales just because someone doesn't have a way to purchase. And then to kind of sum this all up, it's five just keywords is your content creates connection where you can consistently show up and engage your audience to hopefully convert them into collectors.
So
And
one of the questions, Jessica, was how often each week should we be posting?
yes, so before I give like my perfect answer, it's going to be what you can commit to. I think that your commitment is more important than what is the perfect science, because the social media algorithm changes so frequently that you really have to stick to what you think. If that's one day a week, make it that same one day a week. In a more perfect world, that would be at least 3 times a week with different types of content. So that may be a static post, which is just an image. That may be a reel showing your process. And then another one may be more about your story, or about how they can get in touch with you, where you're going to be next, etc. There's a ton of different types of post ideas, and maybe Linda, we can follow up with that to the artist club just so you can get different types of inspiration and also look to see what your peers are doing. If you see something that's working, I'm sure there's ways you can emulate that and make it your own and really be able to, connect your content, engage, and convert. Were there any other questions?
What is a CTA?
So a CTA
Oh,
is a CTA is a call to action. So that's basically where you are telling those who are on your social media what to do next. So if you're showing them a picture of your artwork that's going to be at Art Santa Fe, your CTA could be reach out to me for complimentary tickets. Your CTA could be visit my website so you can see more of my work, or it could be a direct link
check it.
to that piece where they can purchase. I think it's always really strong when you include that in your caption, in your bio, a link in your bio, as well as in your story and linking it specifically there. It gives them three different opportunities for you to close that sale.
Yeah.
Jessica, would you suggest like different posts, like maybe post your story, post a reel, do a carousel post, like so that it's mixing it up?
Yes, exactly. I think you should always do like a really good mix, and the mix really does depends on what your audience likes the most. What the stats say is that video oftentimes gets better reach and better engagement, but that doesn't mean you have to do all video. I think a balance of all is really strong. If you look on the Art Expo page, Redwood page, we do a lot of mixing and matching, especially closer to the fair. You'll see the reels, you'll see the carousels where you can slide through multiple posts, and then you will still see those static. It just depends on what you have available and what would work well for what you're showing.
What about boosting a post, Jessica?
So, contrary to popular belief, I do not believe in boosting posts only because it doesn't perform as well as an ad. And the difference is boosting a post that's already on your page, but an ad is where you can really target who sees whether it's your art, whether it's your upcoming show. You can really get in there and target specifically. You can target by city, demographic, their interest. That's a whole different ballgame, but I prefer ads over just boosting a single post.
Good information. I think that one of the things um, that we've learned from Jessica is the effectiveness of organic posting. Really, the what she's talking about in terms of the consistency, whether it's only one day a week, but it's always that one day a week. It's always the Wednesday, it's always the Thursday, whatever day it is, you're consistent with that. And I think that then what happens is, the algorithm, you're training literally the algorithm so that you then get more visibility, even though you're only posting that one day a week. So if you're consistent, that really helps feed your results.
And the last thing I kind of want to say, if no one else has any questions, is make sure you're answering those inquiries, whether it's in your direct messages, whether it's in your comments. You want to make sure that, sometimes people just say, "Oh, I love your work," things like that. But those people who have questions, make sure you take them seriously give them the information that they need, give them the links that they're asking for, because those are the people who took an extra step and usually are more interested, and could possibly convert faster than someone who's just liking one of your posts.
Well, and I think that that's where that engagement, right, comes in. You're actively communicating, and that is what keeps somebody interested and engaged. You're having a conversation. It's social media, but you're having a conversation with them.
Exactly.
I just want to reinforce something Jessica said. Sometimes we post, I make these videos of our work and spaces and they get views. And then I post something as stupid as me standing in the crate and that gets 800 views overnight.
Yeah, so you never know.
So you never know. So
Well,
I
but I
guess don't
think
be afraid to try stuff.
that's part of telling your story,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's very engaging because it makes it real, and it's the connection with you that starts to happen with a post like that. It's like, oh, yeah, they're getting ready for the show, or they're at the show, that kind of thing. That really, I think, creates a personal kind of engagement that's different than just engaging with the art.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hi, how are you?
Hi. I have only one question. Sometimes, not all the time, there are some haters, that put some things that are really silly. I don't know how to answer them. I try to be polite, and sometimes I don't block them, but I don't know how to answer them. What do you
Uh,
suggest me? What do you
I'm,
suggest?
I
Share
mean,
my
if
impression.
they're leaving negative comments, you can delete them. I mean, it's your page, and when people come to your page, honestly, you want to show, your best work, your process. And so you have the control on what shows up. I would just
Yeah.
delete the comments, honestly. Sometime, depending on what it is, you can report it, but I definitely recommend just deleting them, not engaging with anything negative.
Yeah, because in the best post I have, in the best reels I have, I work with the social media with the girl that helps me, and I
Okay.
don't know why but she doesn't know about art. She has another client. She doesn't have a client like art. I am the only uh, artist, and
Okay.
we are all the time this discussion, and I don't know how to deal with this because it's not all the time. It's it's the best. It's not all the time. I have really good community. I have to
Mm-hmm.
1,000 in my Instagram. TikTok is okay, but sometimes when a post is really good, some people put some things that I don't like to read.
No, absolutely. I say, because that's the thing about social media. There's a good part about it and there's the not so great part about it. And your page is your page for you to have what you want people to see on there. So you can definitely feel free to delete, block. If they're saying something negative, they're probably not going to become one of your collectors anyways. So they
Yeah,
don't need to be
yeah,
engaging further.
Well,
and
and I think that,
actually,
the same thing. If whether it's negative or it's ridiculous,
Mhm.
um,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
then you can get rid of it. There's no
Yeah,
reason to have something that doesn't match, with what you're trying to accomplish,
yeah.
on the page.
And also, Linda, when I link in the Instagram, sorry, I have a surgery. Sorry, my voice is not good. I had a surgery yesterday. So when I link to the Instagram, it's people that has only 100, 100 communities or 700 communities, and they are not there say silly things, but I will do that, what you say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, Jessica. I think that was very informative. Some really good ideas, and we'll make sure that not only does everybody get the recording of this, but we'll also send the deck um, with the recording.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Yeah,
Thanks
Jessica is
a
always
lot.
available for pointers and tips and hints. So let's talk about Art Expo New York. So Rennie and Mary Lynn, how was it?
She'll start.
It was great. Honestly, we had a ton of engagement with both, potential collectors and with potential collaborators. It was a lot of engagement and more than last year. So I think every year it's just getting better and better for us.
People remembered us. Oh,
Yeah.
you have new work. We saw you last year. You have new work this year.
Yeah.
And we got connected with the Muisca Gallery through our connection with AGI, and we will be sending 4 pieces to Paris.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So
And
that's
I
good.
think that just kind of echoes what you've heard me say so
Yep.
many times, that it really, it's also what Jessica just said. It's that consistency. And when you get into the, doing art fairs, it's showing up, and really
Showing
making
up.
a commitment to being there and being there consistently. And you nothing might happen the first time, but then the second time, the third time, everything starts to click, because at our fairs and at all fairs, there is an audience that comes back year after year after year. And this year, interestingly, more than I remember in the past, we've had people send emails and make comments on social media about how many years they've been coming to Art Expo New York and how much they enjoyed it. And every year I buy something, those kinds of comments, and more so than we have experienced previously. So I think that what I like to believe also is that what you all do, um, and and what Redwood does by bringing you all in front of people, is really give them the opportunity um, to enjoy art, to take a break from their life, the economics, the politics, all of that. Art is art's engaging. It's on a different plane than our everyday lives and the things that go on in our everyday lives. And clearly also, there were more sales at Art Expo New York this year than there were over the past couple of years. So people are they're not only appreciating and wanting to be there to see the art, but they're taking it home, or taking it to the office. Wherever they're taking it, they're buying it. And I think that that's a real tribute to all of the artists and the work that everybody is doing. So what's on the agenda for the rest of the spring and into the summer for each of you?
We'll jump in. Things kind of blew up in a good way. We have, of course, Art Santa Fe, which we're almost prepared for. We have a couple pieces, new pieces we're going to be bringing. But we also have a show here in Minneapolis, a group show. Believe it or not, at a condo that has an art gallery on the bottom floor, and there are three
Yeah.
close to one another, and they're doing an art crawl. And we thought they were going to ask us for maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces. No, they'd like us to take up 2 walls.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah, that and Art Expo Chicago are going to pretty much do me in as far as
Us in.
output.
I've got stacks. I'm in the middle of board building hell. I've got stacks of boards I'm building this week that I need to finish. We're still trying to figure out what we want to go on that one remaining wall. For those of you who don't know, Eric talked us into a really big booth, and
It'll be fun.
it'll be fun, but
Yeah.
we still have to kind of curate one more wall how we want it to look. But yeah, we have that. We are going to go to Houston to we're going to try a super fun show in Houston, and then of course back to Miami. So we're going to be really busy between now and when we send the crate to Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the
Sounds
crate
like-
back from Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like being busy. That's good.
Linda, I think you were doing a local show also, right?
I did. I did a show in March in Great Falls, part of Western Art Week. The show was good, but it wasn't my crowd this year. That
Oh,
happens. Yeah.
yeah.
You know. But they did a couple things different. A couple of groups split off, and so I don't know if that affected anything. But the crowds were good. Conversations were good. I made the comment that I think this year was my year to be an educator, because people would ask me questions. How do you do this? What do you do with this? And so that was my positive takeaway. Sales wise, it just wasn't my year, wasn't my crowd.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and that happens, but I
happens,
think the
yes.
important part is showing up.
Yes.
You know, and having the experience.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sophie, how about you? What's happening? What's going on?
Sorry. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the meeting because I wanted to, I don't know why, but it didn't let me in for like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I wanted to hear what Jessica had to say. I don't know what that went on. I'll have to go see the meeting. I don't have any shows planned right now, but I might be thinking about Chicago. Might be thinking about this Chicago for the fall.
Cool. Well,
Let
the
me
thing
just
about
make
Chicago-
my pitch. Let me just make my pitch.
Okay, all right.
Chicago is a wonderful city for art.
Yeah.
The people in Chicago, it's kind of like New York. They understand art and they buy art. So this is going to be such a different show than they've had there before, except for Art Chicago, that I think
Expo Chicago.
no, it's just Art Chicago.
All right.
So I think that and the space is great. I really think you ought to give hard consideration, and the prices are good. And this would be the show to come to.
Yeah, it's our least expensive fare per square foot. It's a little bit challenging because it's a little different for us. It's already built out. So we don't bring our own walls, our own lights, our own trusses. It's already built out. And the booths are bigger because the walls are only 8 feet high. Our usual walls are 10 feet high. So we've made the booths bigger in order to give exhibitors the same amount of linear feet for displaying artwork. And you know, when you've got a 10-foot high wall, you can stack larger pieces one on top of the other. With an 8-foot wall, not so much. So the booths need to be bigger. So there's that, and the other piece of it is I would say the Midwest. I'm very excited about it. The Midwest market offers a new market.
I always wonder if my art fits in that market because I know that it doesn't fit in New York at all. So I always wonder if it's going to fit better in Chicago or not.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Yeah.
You know. Matilda, what have you got coming up this summer?
I was thinking also in Chicago, but before that, I have this weekend in a museum here in Buenos Aires. I have an exhibition in a museum that is really good. And also, I have a coffee shop that works more like a gallery, and I invite all the time new artists. Each month, I have a few. Each month, I change the artist.
Yeah.
So now I have an exhibition, and the next month, other one. I like a lot to share the art with another artist. So it's a good point because it is in the middle of a good neighborhood. And also, I have another big fair that is the best fair in Latin America. It's here in Buenos Aires. It's called Bada, and it's like 400 artists, and it's really good. And I wasn't I wasn't able to be in New York. It was a pity, but maybe next year. And I will be in Miami also. And I am thinking a lot about Chicago. It's good that Rennie and Mary the tips. If you have more tips, I will decide it. I am like Sophie thinking about it.
Well, the thing I think about Chicago also is, well, I love Chicago and I haven't been there in quite some time, but I think that the comments that Rennie and Mary Lynn made about Chicago, um, Chicago is one of the major art cities in the United States. People in Chicago love art and they buy art. And the piece of it also that I'm pretty excited about is we're in the merchandise mart, which is iconic in terms of buildings in Chicago. But the piece of it that's really exciting is, and I didn't know this, 20,000 people a day
Yeah.
come to the merchandise mart
Oh, that's nice.
because there's all of those design showrooms and home furnishing showrooms throughout the mart. And the mart is so big, it's kind of its own little city. There's restaurants, Starbucks, hotels, all of that that are right there inside the mart or immediately connected on catwalks to the mart. So we intend to make sure that all of those design showrooms and consultants and uh, architects and all of those who are entering the building are invited to come to Art Expo Chicago. So I
Yeah.
think that there's a broadening of the types of people that you might encounter as an exhibitor. And we will be setting up also, I've just started creating you'll like this, Matilda, an art theater, as well as a education series. So there will be a speaker series as well.
You will have an art theater also in Chicago?
At, I'm sorry,
Like you are going to have in Chicago like the exhibition that we did it in Spectrum Miami, like art
yeah,
theater to
yeah,
paint. I love that. You know, I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, so there'll be
It
an
was
art theater
ah
for art
yeah,
demonstrations, and there'll
yeah,
also be
demonstrations.
an education. And I don't know if it'll all come off of the same stage, maybe, maybe not. So we'll have to figure that out. But I want to invite, have a design speaker series, a collecting speaker series. And, it goes back to what Art Expo used to do. Where Art Expo New York is now in Pier 36, we don't really have it's not a large enough facility to
Have
to
all that.
support the education program. But so when
Mortgage.
we had to move to Pier 36, we kind of abandoned that. But we've got space in Chicago and we can reestablish that. It used to always be a part of Art Expo that people really enjoyed. And of course now with the art theater that we have that's part of Spectrum, we'll bring that into Art Expo Chicago as well.
The thing is, the thing, Linda, is that I have never been in Chicago in the city, you know.
Oh,
So
you
it's
must
a
have come.
Oh
really
my God.
It's
It's
where
awesome.
I was born. You'll love. I mean, Chicago is very multicultural. Great,
uh-huh,
amazing restaurants. It's
Yeah.
a
really.
great. Oh yeah,
And
Oh, I
let
yeah.
me
am
just add
Taurus. I
last
love
year,
to eat. So restaurant is good. I will go
Oh
there.
yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Last year we were in the Mart for the One of a Kind Spring Show, and we had decided to show our early art because we needed space and we needed to get rid of it and we needed to sell it at really ridiculously low prices, and we did. We had people who came by. We'd been at that show a year before. We had people who came by and said, where are your trees? And we did. We had some of the trees up, but they had remembered us. And well, where are your trees? It's like, well, we have a few trees. No, you had more trees last year. It's like, well, we're exhibiting our early work because we need to
Make room.
make room in the house, based in storage for work.
Yeah.
So they do pay attention.
Mhm.
And plus there are these banks of windows. If you're on the back wall, there are these banks of windows that
They're
just
almost floor to ceiling.
that are awesome.
Yeah, you can really. It's great space.
It's just great space.
Yeah.
And plus I understand, Linda, there might be storage because we
Oh,
know
yeah.
there's storage available, which
yeah.
makes it really nice.
Yeah, you have
Very
access to.
floor. We will not fill it all up. So we will probably, much like we have done in
Yeah.
Santa Fe and
Yes, right.
San Diego previously, there will be storage space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophie, your hand is up.
To the sales girls there, Rennie and Mary Lynn, do you have a best spot in the house to recommend?
You mean
A space on the floor.
Space on the floor? Well,
Space on the floor to recommend.
I don't know what is available.
I would say because people do tend to go around first,
Make the perimeter.
make the perimeter. I know there are some smaller booths in the back wall,
So
and
either on the wall or
right at the elevators.
on that the walkway that goes around either side of it is great.
Do we have a floor plan already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the website.
It's on the
Yeah,
website?
but
Art Expo New Art. I said,
And what's your booth number, girls?
Yeah,
No, but
Redwood
800-something.
We're right in the front.
/ Art Expo Chicago.
there you go. You got it, Linda.
well,
I'm going to
I'd
look
have
at
to
that
look it up.
too.
All I can tell you, Sophie, when you come out of when you look at the map, it's in the front, but it's off to the right.
Right near the elevators.
I can't remember if that's the sixes or eights, but it's Eric would know. It's might be 806. I haven't put it in my phone yet. So Sophie, I'm going to look you up on Instagram, and
Yes.
if you want to send, then I'll look to see some of your art. But they're very eclectic in New York. We sold Chicago. Sorry, we sold some protest art that we'd made from the Women's March that said "Rise Up" in letters, and it was photos and encaustic from the Women's March. Some guy bought it.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, it was a really old piece. We thought, okay, we'll put it up. We had some suns and things that we've done. We had some
early stuff,
really early stuff, and we were trying to figure out who we were, and we had a good show.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. You're pretty convincing.
Yeah.
Look me up and send me that.
I just posted the link in the chat to the booth packages page if you wanted to look at it, Sophie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lady, what do you think about the middle of the Art Expo Chicago? Maybe the name is not that. In the middle of the exhibition? The location, is it okay?
The
The
location?
location?
Oh, the
my
location
God.
is awesome.
It's fantastic.
It's right downtown.
Oh, and it's right
Yeah.
on
It's
the
right
river.
on the river.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
It's
wonderful.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
right in the middle of where things happen. Like Linda said, there's a whole bunch of design studios on the bottom floor, and
But everybody in Chicago knows about the Merchandise Mart.
they all
It's
know
an
the
ic-
Mart.
It's an iconic building.
Yeah. It was actually built
Okay.
by the Kennedy family.
Yes,
Um,
among
Ah,
others. All the statues are out front.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
perfect.
say, like, I live in the Midwest and like
Yeah.
my family's all
Right. You
terrified
know
of
too,
Chicago,
for sure.
but like we're afraid of it in where I live. And but I went to the Mart and I stayed at the hotel and I walked across the catwalk and it is so, so nice. It's our
Oh,
nicest place, truly. I mean, I'm not going to be able to put signs up like I normally do. I mean, everything's digital. It's very, very beautiful and it's very safe. I walked everywhere the whole time. So,
that's nice because I don't. Yes.
Yeah, we walk
So,
everywhere there. We walk,
Safety's not an issue.
and it'll still be brighter in the evenings there a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do you think?
It'll probably be getting dark about 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
so,
but we've had no problem. I've walked around Chicago at night.
yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not an
excellent.
issue.
Not an
out
issue.
there.
So maybe I think I will do it. And the boot in the middle, is it okay? Because I saw the map, about the exhibition. It's another word I don't remember now in English. But when you enter to the exhibition, is it okay in the middle to make a registration, a booking about middle of the exhibition, or because I think Rennie said it's better in the corners or in the wall or something like that.
Because this show is different than
Yeah.
One of a Kind. One of a Kind, they had everybody just stuffed in there, and it was everything. It was
Yeah.
tchotchke lawn furniture and jewelry and clothing and everything.
This is all art, so
This is all art. So I
People are
do
gonna
think
be-
people will go through, and I have
Yeah.
a sense,
yeah.
because this is going to be smaller, that we won't be on top of each other. Just looking at the map, you'll be seen.
Yeah.
That's where we were the first
No,
year.
I
We
think
got
it'll,
seen.
it'll be very much like Art Expo New York, or even like Spectrum,
Yeah.
where people will
Yep.
they'll just walk the aisle.
Walk up and
It'll
down
be
the aisles.
fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the overwhelming thing that we saw at One of a Kind, where it was like, oh my gosh, I think this will be much better. I think actually it's going to be a much better show.
Yeah.
We hope so.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, this has been fun today, and we'll follow this up with as promised. And if you need anything, if you've got questions, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know what your questions are and what you need. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you very much. Thank you.